are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, good. Welcome.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure reading your script.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell me more about your script.
Well, the birth of it sort of happened during COVID. I was feeling like a lot of the relationships I had at that time were not deep. I felt like people were trying to keep things very surface level. And I'm a person who likes to understand people on a deep level and kind of show myself on a deeper level. And so I felt frustrated with that. And I decided to do something that's very dramatic nowadays, which is cut myself off entirely from social media.
Oh, how did you do that?
I know.
Are you still alive?
Barely. I always joke with people, like, when they ask, like, what's your IG?
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a phone number and an email, like it's the
Yeah.
1800s.
Yeah.
I want more connected relationships. So I thought about it, I'm like, okay, if I'm struggling, what is my great or your great granddaughter gonna do when things are even more mixed with social media, and while you feel so connected, you're actually like more disconnected.
Where you won't have the choice anymore, actually.
Yes,
right?
and so that's kind of this world. You know, you're born, it's government mandated. You have a chip that's implanted in your brain, and it's illegal not to have that. And the way that, in my story, Severed, the way that you date is you meet at like a dating cafe. It's called the Click Cafe. You sit across from each other, you just stare into each other's eyes, and you click your button. And once you click your device, you're kind of like showing each other your highlight reels. Like, on Instagram, you have your highlight reels. You can curate whatever story you want to build. You can claim this as your car, your boat, your house, show off your body, whoever you are, whatever you want to show somebody. You can make it and make this fantasy a reality, even if none of that's true, or maybe you're really deeply sad inside. You don't want to show all that. You're just trying to show like some version of yourself. So relationships now only last 20 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes.
That is amazing.
So this woman feels like she wants something more. She sees photos of her parents in love. She's like, oh, I want this depth. I want this real love. And one day she runs into a guy who doesn't have a device. And the guy notices that, she sees him and he freaks out and covers it and kind of takes off. And she follows him out. Out of the city of Los Angeles. He allows her to kind of like meet with him. They have a conversation. He kind of opens up about pain. He's vulnerable. He's, in touch with his emotions. And she's like floored. Who is this man, And he keeps taking her out of the concrete jungle of Los Angeles into nature, where it's forbidden to be because the government they can't control you. It's wild, And he convinces her to do the most dramatic thing you can do, which is sever yourself from your device. She does that, and then there's like a twist at the end. So that's
Michelle,
the story.
that is inspiring. Actually, that is super cool. I want to know more about because I was talking with Leon about science fiction. It's science fiction now, but
right,
maybe
the future is now.
Exactly. Maybe it's not anymore, actually. But we were talking about reality and science fiction, real emotions, like human emotions in science fiction. How do you feel about did you have to go back to like the real basic like a human being emotion to be able to write this like futuristic piece?
I think I had to deal with a lot of conflicted thoughts and feelings about love in general, which is a very basic, theme in being a human, and what it means to actually be connected. And you have all these voices, especially with social media, kind of telling you how you think you should feel or be. And I was like, oh, just that noise, I want it to stop.
And they tell you,
yes.
You're like, you're this, you're that, and this is what you should do.
Even right now as an artist, people are like, you are an artist and you don't have social media. I'm like, no, because I don't, I'm fine to put my art out there. However, I feel like more in control of it. And also, I get to choose how people have access to me. I still have a LinkedIn, but that's kind of boring. I don't find myself scrolling or comparing myself or, not that I did that too much, but it was more just, I was like, people think they know me, but they don't know me.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I want, if I want you to know me, I'm gonna, let you have access to me.
And if you want to tell me something, come here.
Yes.
And ask me
right.
or tell me
face to face.
Exactly.
Or over the phone or something more connected than just
yeah.
Michelle, did this, Michelle did that. The funny thing is that once I didn't even tell anybody that I was going to delete my social media, just got rid of it. And I remember somebody approached me. I was in the parking lot after a surf session, and this person I surfed with said, kind of approached me very timidly. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, hey, are you mad at me? I was like, no, why would I be mad at you?
Oh, he thought you blocked.
And he was like, did you block me? Yeah, on Instagram. And I was like, no, I just got rid of it. And he was like, oh, yeah, you know what, I remember you posted something about it. And I looked at him and I was like, I didn't say this to him, but in my head I was like, I didn't even post it. This is my last day on Insta. I didn't do any of that. I just disappeared. And I was like, I just smiled at him and I was like, yeah, I'm off of it. But I was like, I don't even want to correct him because people input their own information about your life. Of course, So that's what this is kind of about.
So interesting. You know, Michelle, now you're talking about it. I have a friend actually who, you know, and this is how I would say, I don't want to say control, but this is how manipulated we are. So she's been trying to get off social media, and she's been like announcing it the first time, and then not doing it, and then the third time not doing it, fifth time not doing it. So
it's like an addiction.
We're so addicted to, and it's like she consciously she wants to take this decision, but something, you know, is, you know, pulling her back. I'm like, no. Yeah.
It's because you get like you get like a high from it in a way. You know, there's like a dopamine reward kind of situation that you get from like sugar or video games or other things, and like, I mean, it's so easy to just have your thumb do this, and I even find myself like, I do have a Reddit, you know, so it's not like I'm super disconnected because I do want to know what's going on in the world a little bit. But I feel like I get to control it more, and I'm now somebody who's like, I want to see people in person. Let's enjoy nature.
Oh my God.
Let's go to the beach. Let's go on a hike. Let's sit in the garden and like have a little picnic. Let's talk.
I never post about like when I go and have fun. People don't know. They don't need to know. You know, it's why would you want to tell? Like if I want to tell somebody, I'll call them.
Exactly.
Like why would you want to? You know, Michelle, what about your script? I'm gonna go back because we drifted around. We're gonna go back to your script. Did you use like the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, you know, structure, or you don't care about that?
I wish I was better about structure. I kind of write in a very open way, and then I gotta have my trusted people read the script, and then they kind of like help bring the structure to it. I'm now trying to outline more, so it's not just like a open free for all where it feels a little bit not disjointed, but there is more of a structure to it. But that's not really my strong suit. I'd say like characters and dialogue are more of my strong suit. So I'm trying to work on like being a little bit more structured, and that's why I try to read a lot of my friends' scripts who are really good at that. And maybe they're like, I need help with like my dialogue and my characters. I'm like, I got you there. So yes, it's something that is a work in progress, and I think I'm getting better at it every script that I write.
Cool. Yeah. Michelle, another thing I want to ask about the character evolution. Okay, how do you work with the character evolution? Do you base your story on a character evolution, or do you base your story on like an intrigue or like something happens? I know it's tough, but
it's because each project is different. You know what I mean? The entryway for me is like a few things. I might have a vision of like something, and I'm like, whoa, like. Or there might be even like a phrase like, oh my God, that's really inspiring. I want to write a story about that phrase.
Yeah, I love it. It happens to me all the time.
It can be, or like I stumble upon like a really unique world. Like I have an hour-long drama about female surfers. Once I got into surfing 5 years ago, I was like, there's a story here. You know? Or I used to work in the cannabis industry. I worked in the cannabis industry, and I was working at a shop which was one of the only female shops in Los Angeles pre-legalization. And it was like a ragtag, you know, team of like women from unique walks of life that kind of formed this sisterhood in this one dispensary. And we like loved like a family and fought like a family, and so I was like, this is a TV show. So I wrote a half-hour comedy about that. So it's kind of like I get inspiration in so many different ways. It's like it could be a vision, it could be the ecosystem, it could be a person that I meet. I met one 6-year-old woman that I surf with from France, and she's my surf mom. So she inspired my surf show. For Severed, it was about me getting off social media, so maybe my story was more of inspo, but that's kind of rare. I like to write more about other people. I don't find myself as interesting.
It's so inspiring, Michelle. Michelle, I want to thank you for, you know, being with us the 3 days of the festival.
Thank you. It's been fun.
No, of course, you know, it's my pleasure, you know, to meet people, meet other creators, because, you know what, we nourish each other actually.
We have to. It takes a village to make art.
Exactly.
Make anything.
Yeah. So just I want to say my personal opinion. Your script is very inspiring. Because it's a true story.
Thank you.
And that is always something good.
I try to pull from factual things around me, and then I create something that is fiction, but the basis is grounded in something or someone or something I see. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.